Welcome to In Your House.
Good morning, wrestling fans. Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's Jonesy Chats Wrestling. We're back today to discuss last night's NXT pay-per-view, the review. I'm here by the main man of NXT on the channel, none other than NXT Steve. How are you this morning, Steve? Night after?
Tired. I've had about 4 hours sleep since watching it. I'm all right apart from that.
Mate, at least it was a short pay-per-view. Come on.
Yes, it's true. It just started later than normal because normally they start at midnight, but it was a 1 o'clock last night, so that's what threw me out.
You commit to the cause, watch it live. I got up and watched it a bit more of a sensible time, lucky me, but it's still kind of early, but there we go. Let's get into it then. So coming into this pay-per-view, it looked like it'd been built up really kind of well. There wasn't a lot of matches on the card, but all the matches that were there had some sort of purpose. Most of them had a purpose. Were you excited for this pay-per-view going in?
Yeah, but my only issue with it, is a lot of it was... all the results were really predictable. This is my only issue I have with a lot of wrestling nowadays is that you go into these pay-per-views and you know the half the results already before they've even happened. It's like you could go back to Mania when you had the triple threat between Roman, Edge, and Daniel. Yes, all right, you would have probably thought Roman would have won, but there was always a chance that Daniel or Edge could have won. And it's like, the recent pay-per-views, although they've been good, especially WrestleMania Backlash was a fantastic pay-per-view, but it's just the results are predictable. But yeah, otherwise than that, it was a really good show. I
think definitely with this show, there was only really two matches that were questionable about results, which was the ladder match and probably the ladder match. I'd say maybe not, but it was kind of questionable. And then we had the main event. The main event obviously had a lot of questions and stuff. But let's get into it then. So obviously the show opens up. We got this 6-man tag. This has been really well built up. I'm really liking all elements in this match. I thought for me this match was outstanding. Blew my expectation away. Bronson Reed looks like a megastar. I think the sooner this guy's up on the main roster, the better. Really, this guy's kind of got it all. And crucially, the Bronson Reed and MSK get the win. So obviously, Reed gets the big splash off the pinfall. Really like this. I really kind of enjoyed it. It was very hard hitting. There was a lot of kind of spots. The Escobar Michinoku driver I thought was fantastic. Couldn't believe he pulled it off. But
unbelievable.
But I think this was a really, really good opening match. What were your thoughts on the match and the result?
The match it really felt like an indie show match to me. Like this was there to please the fans. It had everything. So it had loads of near falls, it had loads of high spots. It's just an unbelievable match. I say even Bronson Reed putting Escobar through the barricade and breaking it, man. Just this was a fan-made match. It was fantastic.
I think that spot with the barricade was really, really cool as well. As you said, I think it just shows with Bronson Reed, this guy's chaos. This guy is money, isn't he? I think the job was really good.
They're booking him like Vader, man. It's like when was the last time we had a big guy that was like a Vader, for instance? Do you know what I mean? It's nice to see.
It's nice to see. Hope it continues. But no, this was great. It was great to see lots of champions on the show, if that makes sense, in one match. But the predictable result, but it was the right result nonetheless.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely. Let's go into this next segment. So we obviously got Todd Pettengill. It's an old school segment. It's kind of fun, really, to see him kind of there. And I really like Todd Pettengill on the show. I love the hosting role. I think he was far better a host than we got with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania this year. I think at least Todd Pettengill, it felt kind of nostalgia for him. What do you think of Todd Pettingill's hosting throughout the show?
Yeah, I think he's just still lost in the 80s, man. At one point, he's trying to run a VHS tape on an old, brick TV, man. I was like, it's entertaining. It's funny, man. You got Mackenzie trying to educate him on 2021 technology. Yeah, it was really good, man.
Definitely good. Also, like the cameo of Michael Hayes as well at the start of the show that I forgot to mention. I thought that was quite fun.
What was the
We did the voiceover. He's there with the microphone and he does his voiceover and stuff.
Man, he's wicked.
I love these nostalgic pay-per-views. I think that's a great element to NXT. I think it's really, really good. They do them. And I'm looking forward to probably late in the year, Halloween Havoc. Sorry, Steve, going after you.
No, I was just going to say, do you know one thing I enjoy about Takeovers is that they still do what they used to do with all the pay-per-views and they have this aesthetic to them. So in your house has the house set up and all this kind of stuff.
It's nice.
And you don't get that with none of the main roster pay-per-views. And it really takes you back to sort of how they used to be. And it's a really nice thing to see, man. So I love looking forward to Takeovers just to even stand and deliver when it had that giant skull with the LED eyes, man. It's just fantastic to look at.
I agree. I think that's a great point you made. The sets are there. They're not just there. They're used as well in matches, which is a massive thing, which for me, hopefully when WWE goes back on the road, obviously with SummerSlam, stuff like that, we're going to get big sets back. But I know Raw is due a new set and SmackDown's due a new set, but less said about Raw the better, really. Let's go forward. So we're going to this next match. Interesting match. Mercedes Martinez, Xia Li. Unusual type of match, been kind of thrown together. A couple of good spots. I like the butterfly that was done from Mercedes. That was quite nice. Most of the match was a story of Mercedes selling the ribs. Crucially, Xia Li does a kick. It's almost like they run out of time. Xia Li does get the win. After the match, Xia Li then basically calls for a steel chair. Martinez basically does her over. Next thing you know, the lights flicker. Martinez then basically challenges Mei Yin. Mei Yin's now got obviously been called Mei Yin, and she kind of squares up to him. Next thing you know, sort of Mercedes just gets totally destroyed by this Mei Yin. Couple of things for me. Actually, let's go to your thoughts of the match, and then we'll go into the aftermath after.
This match did two things, and it did them really badly. One, it made Xia Li look stupidly overpowered and stupidly strong. Like the fact that she dominated Mercedes for the majority of this match, and two, it made Mercedes Martinez look completely weak. And the fact that she's meant to be possibly going to Raw as an enforcer for Eva Marie,
interesting.
This is just completely squashed that. This was dreadful, man. I did not like this one bit.
Yeah, I think the thing with it, you make some excellent points there. I think for me, the Xia Li thing, it's 50-50. She's never on TV all the time. They started this storyline months ago, never paid it off really. And I think the thing with it's okay. Mercedes Martinez, obviously she was injured, but the fact that this is a way sort of to get Mercedes Martinez off TV potentially and going on Raw tonight, this wasn't a way to write off TV. The way that it's almost like started a feud between Mei Yin and Mercedes Martinez. It just doesn't really kind of work for me. And this whole Mei Yin thing, I'm up for taking time with the story, but it's been going on months and months. You dropped it for months. You got Boa there like a third wheel. Boa doesn't do anything. What's the point of Boa? He's just there he's just there basically delivering a pizza or something. You know what I mean?
He's like Neo from fucking The Matrix or whatever. It's stupid, man.
He's doing nothing there. You know what I mean? It's not like he's got any role. It's not like Boa's on a singles push doing the same thing that Xia is. But it's great to see Xia get the win. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the character, but this Mei Yin thing, she's not going to have a match. Even though she's a wrestler, she probably ain't going to have a match. And
I had to Google who it was because I forgot. Karrion Q, yeah. And I was like, I completely forgot. It was like, because the last time they did anything with her was with Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, and she blew the smoke in her mouth, and then 2 weeks later,
the Dragon,
Caden's selling it like, no, nothing happened, man. She just, nothing. We're done with them. We're gonna move on. It's like you buried them 2 months ago when you did this. So like I said, the one good point, Xia Li got a win, which is what she needed. That was a good thing to come out of this match.
Do we see Mercedes going to Raw tonight? I don't think so. Based on that, I think this is a start of something else. I think this is a start of a storyline between the continues. Basically, I think it's a very strange way to get her out of NXT.
It could be. Yeah, say well, that's it. Just wonder what they're going to do for Eva Marie now, because obviously if it was meant to be, and this is going to be Piper Niven off you,
NXT, probably or something. But.
To be fair though. Mercedes hasn't exactly been booked the strongest either. So you've got two poorly booked wrestlers in a feud, and it was like, what are you trying to get out of it? Because neither one of them is going to come out of this any better. So I don't know.
I think the last I was going to say with it, I think this is the first time Xia Li's actually picked up a big win, like over somebody, like since she's been repackaged. The rest of her wins have been kind of over nobody's. And they need to do something. It's about time she has somebody. I'm surprised if they were really going to push this character, even with all the whistles and bells that's with it. It's people like Sarai, people like Io Shirai. That's kind of who she needs to be having matches with, really. If that's the way it's going. But there we go. Let's kind of move forward with this then. So that obviously was the worst match of the show for me. I'll get that out there now.
Yeah, 100%.
Moving forward, this next match was really fun. $1 Million Championship ladder match. Cameron Grimes, LA Knight. This was actually really, really good. It was interesting. It was lots of kind of close moments with the ladder. I love the gold ladder, the gold dust, throwback to gold dust with the ladder as well. Crucially enough, the finish is Cameron Grimes basically kind of gets chucked off basically a production set, and Grimes then basically crashes through the ladder. LA Knight then gets the belt. I was surprised LA Knight kind of won without help, but it's the right result. And for me, it was a good spot. I love the spot where Grimes climbs up and he dived off. That was quite a crazy spot for Grimes. I was surprised it. What did you think of the match and the result? It's standard forte of a ladder match. Really, it had all the normal tropes of a ladder match. Really good. I think the decision 100% right should have been LA Knight, because I think it just makes sense for Grimes to follow it. But the amount of titles that they've got on NXT now, I'm kind of like, because obviously there's no cruiserweight match tonight. It's like, how are they going to book this $1 million championship going forward? Is it going to be defended on a weekly basis? Is it going to be jobbed out like the 24/7 title? Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing I worry about. Don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon that it's back in WWE. That nostalgia feel from when I was a kid, man, seeing Ted DiBiase kick a basketball off of a kid and stuff like that. But like I said, it'll be the rivalry going forward between the two of them. But
is this a permanent thing with $1 million title, or is it just sort of a 3-month stint? Like, is it going to be a case that Grimes is going to win it, lose all his money, and then he has to sell the $1 million title because he's got no money left? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fair point. I think it's interesting. I was just surprised Ted DiBiase didn't get involved. I'm guessing he's not got the mobility to be able to get involved, but it was the right result. It was a great match.
2 bouncers there could have done something.
He had basically Baron Corbin's lone wolves there, that's what like the Knights of Corbin or something, but not even attired like the $1 Million Man or anything. But there we go. Let's move forward. Our next kind of match of this was the NXT Women's Championship. Emma Moon, Raquel Gonzalez. This was a really, really good match. The result was always kind of predictable. Crucially, Gonzalez basically gets the win thanks to help from Dakota Kai. Shotzi Blackheart makes the comeback. And Moon basically looks to hit the Eclipse, and Gonzalez avoids it and gets the powerbomb, like the Chiquita powerbomb, whatever it's called now. But this was a good match. Gonzalez is always going to win. What did you think of the match and the return from Shotzi Blackheart?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Shotzi back. I'm a big fan of Shotzi. Yeah. They're kind of booking Raquel like Roman. Like, she can't, how Roman is booked sometimes, the way that she can't win unless someone interferes for her, like Dakota, like how Roman used to have with Jimmy. So it's kind of the same along them kind of lines. At some point, we will get this split between Dakota and Raquel, whether it's just before one of them, before Raquel most likely ends up moving up to main. But yeah, the match, I say, is really good. Ember just needs to get up. Like I said, this is what I was saying last week. Ember was tarnished by her first run because she had Asuka there. So she only won the title once because Asuka had given it up at this point, and it was between her and Nikki Cross. So if Emma's going to be on NXT going forward, she just needs to say, get rid of this whole first run jinx stuff where she couldn't beat Asuka, and hopefully she'll get 2 or 3 NXT Women Championship runs out of this, and then it'll give her more of a credible NXT history.
Definitely. I thought this was an okay match. Raquel Gonzalez is becoming the Roman Reigns. She's a bit unbeatable, but I agree the split with Dakota Kai has to happen eventually. I think there's one thing I'd like to have seen. Call me crazy. It probably wouldn't work because this person's a heel. I'd love to have seen Frankie Mono have some sort of role on this pay-per-view. Like, I think it was a missed opportunity, her not being on it, but that's only sort of a small thing. But where do you think it goes next for Raquel Gonzalez? Who do we see her kind of facing next?
To be fair, you're probably right. It's probably going to be Frankie Monet. I can't...
The heel versus heel thing. I don't know how it will work.
Unless EO's going to go back to it, because obviously their confrontation on NXT. Yeah, but probably. I think EO's going to be locked in with Indy and Candice for a while.
Candice.
I think they're going to go. She's going to find someone to go for them tag titles. Maybe get Saray in there, and the pair of them can team up. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise Frankie Monet. I mean, they've got Great American Bash has been announced. It's a Tuesday. It's a broadcast show, isn't it? So it'll be on a Tuesday night. I think on the 6th of July. Because I looked at it and I went 6th of July. That's a bit close for another takeover. And then I realised, oh no, it's just a normal NXT, but it's a themed one.
Definitely. I'm going to kind of go forward with this main event. So this main event, really excited for it. I was really looking forward to it. Really, really good main event. This main event just shows exactly why NXT is that good. A lot of it was really good. There's a great spot where Karrion Kross goes through a door. The powerbomb spot on Karrion Kross on the table. That table didn't break. That looked stiff as hell. I've got to be honest with you. It's just sort of, I know it's a way to take him out of the match. Loads of near falls. I love the sort of teases of submissions. The tension between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole was paramount throughout. Crucially enough, it does end up with Karrion Kross basically ending up being able to get the win. He comes out with a win, and it's great. So obviously there's 2 submissions on, and Kross gets his win. Like he gets the submission first. But great match. Karrion Kross retains, so Karrion Kross still your NXT champion. For me, not surprised that I did say sort of predictions. I thought he would win unless he was going up, but this was great. I really kind of enjoyed it. There's a lot of sort of nobody here got kind of buried, so there's a lot of thing coming out of it. But my analysis out of this is Karrion Kross. This guy, for me, we have to see him facing Walter or Brock Lesnar at some point. This guy has got that mystique about him. I just don't know how they're ever going to get the belt off him. What did you think of the match, and what do you think is going to happen next?
To start off, when it first came out, and you had Johnny Gargano wearing a HBK inspired attire. I thought fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Pete Dunne then comes out in an England themed attire, and I was like, that's it. I want Dunne to win now. Just for that attire alone, it was beautiful. He had like the 3 lines on the back of his boots. It was amazing. But well over my expectations for what this match could have been. The double team moves that these people were pulling out as if they've been tag teams all along. The double super kicks that was pulled on. I think it was Johnny as he did a backflip off the top right. No, it was Dunne. Whoever it was, man. There was just so many double team inspired. Someone would hit a finisher, someone else would then hit a finisher, then someone else would then hit a finisher. And yeah, oh man, this was just fantastic, entertaining from start to end. My only worry is that yes, although no one's come off looking weak and Karrion's still retained, you've just taken 4 of your top guys out of the main title scene, and it's like, who does NXT have left to go for the title now? Who is now the next legitimate number 1 contender? And I've looked at the roster and I can't find anyone, man. I said maybe Swerve, is Isaiah Swerve Scott going to get a shot? Dexter Loomis?
Come on.
This is what I'm saying. I can't. I'd say unless this is going to be a case of Kyle O'Reilly turning around going, oh, you only tapped me out because of Adam Cole. Adam Cole's going to re-challenge him because he was like, no, I never tapped out. But it could go anyway.
I think it'll be Adam Cole, to be fair. Like, I think that's a lazy way of going about it. But I think everybody was hoping. I don't know. It was just me. Everyone was hoping Samoa Joe would come out.
100% was hoping. Joe
everybody was kind of hoping Samoa Joe was waiting for Samoa Joe to come out, and it's kind of one of them things. I think this is the point now with Karrion Kross. This guy, they want him on the main roster. They want him. It's only a matter of time, really. That it's the thing. I thought this was the one chance to get a belt off him without him being pinned or anything. But it's Roman Reigns again, basically.
Yeah, it was either take it off him tonight or have Joe come out, and Joe's going to be the guy to take it off him.
Definitely.
But they've not done either, so I have no idea what they're going to do.
We will see what kind of happens with that. But no, great match. As I said, this is what a main event should be. I love the uncertainty in it. I love the sort of the near falls, the brutality of it. It just really showed sort of what a main event should be. It got a great amount of time. And this is what I aspire to see on the main roster. I'd love to see something of this level on the main roster. All these guys should be on the main roster in some form.
Let me ask you this. So with NXT, what they have a tendency to do is they kind of almost rotate the roster on a 3-week schedule. So you'll see someone 1 week, but then you won't see them for the next 2. And then or maybe they'll take a week off. So you'll either see them 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later. Do you reckon the main roster can benefit from doing something like that? Obviously, maybe not with your champions like your Bobbies and stuff, but it's like Adam Cole hasn't been on TV for 2 months because NXT can afford to not have him on NXT for 2 months. But you look at other people, like you won't see Zayda Ramir for 2 weeks. You won't see Tony Storm for 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Because they can afford to do it. Do you reckon main roster could benefit from doing that?
I think it's a really good idea. I think the crucial thing with it is also they're not involved in the storyline or feud. Because if you're starting, this is the worst thing. If you're starting something week 1 and then you drop it for 2 weeks and it comes back on week 4, for example. It's kind of one of them things where it doesn't really work, but I think it's refreshed. I think it'll be a good approach.
But this
they need to do something like that.
This is how NXT gets around it because obviously they'll just have video packages. So you might not have them in doing a match or something. Yeah, you'll have them do a match week 1. Week 2, they'll have a 2-minute video segment. Week 3, they'll be back on TV in a match of some form. So it can work, but it's whether the main roster will do it or not. I'm not being funny.
They won't. Of course they won't.
Yeah, of course they won't.
They push who they want. You know what I mean? That's the thing with it.
They've got so much talent that's not being used.
Definitely. Let's go into the last segment then. So last segment of the night, we got William Regal outside the Performance Center. I'm really thinking, come on, Samoa Joe, come on, be in a car or something. Please be behind him or something.
I've just signed him or something like that, yeah.
You just sort of thinking there. So we've got obviously Samoa Joe there, and Samoa Joe says sort of, he looks like, not Samoa Joe, so William Regal says that he looks despondent, that it's been 7 years since he was GM, but there's never been so much better than him. He thinks it's time for a change. He then looks like he's about to have a breakdown or something. But yeah, this was a great cliffhanger segment. I enjoyed it.
I literally wrote straight after the MSK match. There was one of the brawls being filmed. I put, "Is Regal going to be replaced?" And it literally by the end of the show it happened, and I was like, "Oh, I can't believe I didn't see this 2 weeks ago." Because like I said, the show's been chaos. Everyone's been fighting every week. Yeah, William Regal looks like he's going to have a nervous breakdown every single episode of NXT, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't see this 2 weeks ago.
There's one of 3 things I'd like to see happen. Like, these are all crazy ideas. None of this is exclusive. None of this is confirmed anyway. There's nothing out yet. But the 3 I'd like to see happen. The first person to replace William Regal, HBK, Shawn Michaels. He was great as a commissioner back in WWF back in the day. I think he'd be great as a commissioner on NXT. I'd love to see him on TV. Like, I think he'd be so good. Like, with everybody, like with Karrion Kross, all the others, the interaction and that rub he'll give. The other one, this other one would be they finally play off the Diamond Mine. Like, William Regal basically says that we've got this other promotion. I can't handle all these wrestlers here. You're too out of control. Some of you need to go elsewhere. And that finally gets this second setup of NXT, which is the Diamond Mine. So that's what it's basically going to be. That's what they were going to be before they dropped it. And then the third one is ultimately it's William Regal's bringing someone in to manage the product, and that is Samoa Joe in a non-wrestling capacity. I think they're the three that it could be. But what do you think it could be, and what do you think of them suggestions?
The HBK one I love. I think that's a great. I wouldn't have even thought of HBK. I mean, just let him dish out super kicks anytime someone steps out of line.
Definitely.
But Joe, don't get me wrong. I think Joe in an authoritative capacity will be fantastic. But I want to see Joe versus Karrion Cross. I want to see Joe as NXT champion again, man. So I don't know unless they. I worry that Joe's not physically cleared. He says he is, but whether WWE find him clear or not, that's why they're only going to bring him back in sort of this William Regal authoritative role. I don't know. The Diamond for my thing. I mean, I honestly have no clue what's going to happen with this thing. I presume we're going to find out Tuesday night. Sorry, I think
they've dropped it, haven't they? They've dropped it, unless I missed it. They don't do trailers anymore.
They dropped a package, I think, last week or week before, saying come in. Literally, the only thing it changed was the end was said come in soon. So it will. I presume it's going to happen this week because we've had Takeover.
Oh wow! So, okay, much more observant than me. I need to stop paying attention, but no,
just because it looks like an advert. That's why I never realised it. Every time I watch the show, I think it's a commercial for something. So I normally skip through it. But no, it's supposed to be coming soon. So maybe this week, man, we might find out what it is. But I'm really worried it's going to be like Raw Underground, and I really don't want that.
I don't think so. The thing is, I don't know. The problem is there's so much of a lack of effort in terms of doing it week on week. The fact that I didn't even know there was a promo and I've missed it, that shows you how unadvertised it is. But we'll see what happens. What's your final rating of the pay-per-view?
I'm probably going to give it a 6, if I'm honest. I mean, it's not the best takeover ever. I think the first match and the last match sort of, like I said to you before we started this, I think this pay-per-view was built for this main event. Everything, the Mercedes Martinez Ali could have been on a normal TV show. The ladder match was good. So, no, actually, no, I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to say a 7 out of 10. I think 6 is unfair to say the first match, the ladder match, and in fact, it's just that Mercedes Martinez Ali match, I think, sort of spoiled it. And again, same thing as usual. The results were all predictable. So, I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
I'll go 7 out of 10 as well. I think it was really good. I think the main matches delivered. Like the main event was one of the matches of the year for me. I think it was so good. Unreal. And I think that it's just general excitement. I love the way the show ends on a cliffhanger. That's nice. That's always good. It gives you a reason to watch the next chapter, which is good. But that's kind of been it. In terms of content from us, we've got sort of Hell in a Cell pay-per-view predictions. Me and yourself will be on SCW, the wrestling channel, tomorrow afternoon. Please check that out. Let us know your thoughts and predictions of Hell in a Cell. I'll be back tomorrow with a Raw review. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Can't be any worse, can it? But there we go. This has been it. I've been Jonesy, joined by NXT Steve, and thank you for watching. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.